ultimately, if you have to do well in this examination, it's important that you are able to communicate effectively about what you have learned, how much you know to the examiner in that 3 hours period. This theme based approach will help them in ensuring that they can prepare for the mains in a very short span of time, considering the amount of time which is there between the prelims and mains this year. I will also be discussing some of the previous year questions and the approach to writing good answers which can fetch you high marks in the exam. It is because they know how to express themselves in those 3 hours. So content management is very important, and that is what we will be also focusing on in this program.
Hello aspirants and welcome to our yet another conversation series video. As prelims examination is over, you all must be preparing for the mains examination. So in this video, we will be discussing the strategy for upcoming mains examination as far as the subjects of governance and internal security is concerned. Today we have with us our senior most faculty Jatin Gupta Sir with us. A very warm welcome, sir.
Thank you, Paritosh.
Sir, again, with prelims just got over and again 2.5 months left for the mains examination, what should a strategy for the next 2.5 months so that students should maximize their score in the examination?
Now, considering how the exam pattern has changed from last year to this year, and I mean in terms of the time duration between the prelims and the mains examination, it's very important to use this time very wisely. And 2.5 months can be very less time to cover all the things that are required for success in the mains examination. So the best strategy which I would suggest to all my students would be to specially break down their preparation into 3 parts. The first part of the preparation, that is the first month, should be dedicated to revising, consolidating all the concepts that they may have covered earlier with respect to mains, which would include covering the optional as well as looking at those particular portions of the mains which are not asked in prelims. Let's say internal security or disaster management or ethics or world history, which do not necessarily have a lot of weightage in the prelims examination. Once they are done with revision and consolidation of the same, they should start answer writing practice. In fact, I would suggest to all the candidates that from the first month itself, they should give at least 1 test a week so that they are in touch with what are the requirements of the mains examination. Then the next 2 parts will be very crucial. So in the second part of their preparation, they should focus on trying to write the answers to the previous year questions. On the basis of that, analyzing what are their shortcomings, what are their strengths, and then reworking on those particular aspects of the syllabus that we talked about in the first half. And then the third half should be completely dedicated to revision and to answer writing. So ultimately, if you have to do well in this examination, it's important that you are able to communicate effectively about what you have learned, how much you know to the examiner in that 3 hours period. You may have read hundreds of books, you may have struggled a lot while preparing for the examination, you may have attended hundreds and hundreds of classes, but the examiner will only see your answer copy. So therefore, answer writing becomes the most crucial aspect of the preparation for the examination. I would like to tell one story of one of my students who got rank 40 in the examination 3-4 years back, and 10 days before the examination, he called me up. He was very anxious and asked me that what should I do at this point of time? I don't really know. So I told him that at this point of time, the only thing that you can do in order to improve your score is to give tests. Have you given any tests? And he said no. So I said that in next 10 days, your attempt should be that I should give at least 8 tests full length for the mains examination, GS paper 1 to GS paper 4, and maybe write one essay as well. And that will give you some kind of confidence before going into the examination hall to manage your time effectively. And I must tell that once the result came, after that he called me up and he told me that, sir, it was that advice that you gave to me to write the papers at the end and to practice answer writing that really proved beneficial to me. So I have seen this year and year after all the experience that we have had, that many candidates tend to read a lot, they work very hard, but they still don't know how to do well in the mains examination because they don't know how to express themselves properly in the exam.
Sir, as you discussed, maybe a story where again you helped a student to maybe qualify examination, very good rank. I would like to ask you how success in mains is different from success in prelims examination.
So the nature of the examination is very different. In prelims, they focus a lot on what. For example, candidates may have looked at the paper this year, and the question that was asked was that in which of the articles of the Indian Constitution do we find the right to privacy? Now, this is a very objective question in which the answer is on what. But in mains examination, the question has been asked on right to privacy earlier, but the question was about how the judgment of the court with respect to declaring right to privacy as a fundamental right will play an important role in the analysis or the implementation or the enforcement of the fundamental rights. What would it mean for the world of fundamental rights? So there the question is more analytical in nature. In prelims, for example, they may ask you that what are the powers of the parliament to amend the constitution under 368? Do they include the power to vary, repeal and to add something in the constitution? But in the mains examination, they may ask you to compare the amendment procedure of the Indian constitution with that in America. They may ask you why it is that in the Indian constitution, the certain provisions have been included to ensure flexibility as well as rigidity with respect to amendment. So the why and the how part will be more important in the mains examination. So in mains, you need to get into the analytical aspects of the syllabus, whereas in the prelims, it's more about knowledge and some bit of application. So 30% will be application, but in mains, 70% is application and maybe 20-30% is knowledge.
One of the confusing areas where students get confused ki how exactly prelims is different from mains. So now, sir, Vision Eyes has come up with a new program that is Mains Advanced course, which is launching on 25th of June. How this program will help students for successfully preparing for the mains examination?
In this examination, in this course, the approach that we have adopted is very different from what we have done earlier with some of our mains courses. We are focusing on identifying the themes which are the most important for the mains examination. Our team has done extensive research with the help of previous year questions and high scoring areas in the mains examination, plus the current affairs that have been going on. And we have identified some selected themes. And in this particular program, we will only be covering those particular specific themes of the syllabus related to polity, related to governance, internal security, disaster management, all the important areas of the mains examination. Also, the approach will be more question and answer based. So instead of trying to focus on the basics, we will try to get into these finer aspects which I was discussing about the hows and the whys of those particular topics. And this theme based approach will help them in ensuring that they can prepare for the mains in a very short span of time, considering the amount of time which is there between the prelims and mains this year.
So what exactly are you planning maybe for your subjects as far as, let's say, ethics and governance and internal security is concerned?
As I said, that we have identified some of these specific themes and topics which we believe, one, have been very important in UPSC, and secondly, which have probability of being asked this year. And we will be covering specifically those particular themes and topics. Say, for example, one of the themes which has been very important in governance has been e-governance. So in that, we will not get into what exactly is e-governance. We will of course touch upon that, but we will discuss about more analytical issues related to e-governance. We have seen numerous initiatives in India to promote e-governance, but have all of them been a success? No. So what are the challenges that we are facing in that respect? Secondly, what can be the application of e-governance, let's say, in farming? What can be the applications of e-governance in law and order management? What can be the applications of e-governance in the disaster related issues? So we will be specifically covering those themes which we think, as I said, are important and have been relevant for UPSC. Also in this program, one of the important components is answer writing practice as well. So we want that our students, when they go back home, they should have done ample amount of answer writing within the class only as a part of the entire session, so that they have gained good amount of confidence on the topics that we are covering in the class. So we'll be giving them daily questions, daily assignments, and there'll be a discussion on those daily questions and daily assignments as well in the class, so that they can improve on their answer writing. I will also be discussing some of the previous year questions and the approach to writing good answers which can fetch you high marks in the exam.
Sir, as you discussed, it is sounding to be a very targeted program. So, any prerequisite for students who are coming for this course?
We expect that the students must be well read with the basics of the subject. It is not a crash course. It is not expected to cover all the things in 60 days because that's not possible. The kind of coverage which UPSC expects from a candidate is very in depth. So, our expectation is that they must have covered the basics, but they have been struggling to overcome these analytical issues. They have been struggling to improve their marks in mains. A number of candidates must have appeared in the examination in the past, but they may not have done well in the past. So, how do they improve their scores? That's why we have provided a special concession also for our candidates, for our students from the past or those who have qualified the mains in the past, so that they have a better incentive to join this program.
So, lastly, I would like to ask any specific topics you consider is important for this upcoming mains examination?
A lot of them. So, as far as governance is concerned, e-governance is a very important topic. Students should not only treat e-governance as that this is just application of computer and mobile to the governance, but there are certain specific areas with respect to functioning of e-governance that they need to be aware of. They need to know what are the various models of e-governance. That is, what are the various theoretical models that have been given by scholars and experts as to what are advantages and disadvantages of e-governance. Another very important topic is the SHGs. You would see that numerous questions have been asked from self-help groups, and again UPSC just doesn't ask what are self-help groups. Rather, they would ask about the SHG bank linkage program in India. They would discuss about the importance of SHGs with respect to women empowerment. They may ask a question on the role of SHGs in improving the rural and the local governance in India. Another important theme is the NGOs. Given the kind of conflict that always exists between the state and the NGOs, UPSC may ask a question on the relationship between the state and the NGOs. How can we take the help of the NGOs in improving the governance processes in India? Then apart from that, even in the ethics portion, some of the topics are very important. Transparency and accountability are very key scoring areas because one, you need to understand what are the various issues related to transparency and accountability, but also how it can be applied in case studies as well, how you can make your office more transparent, make the functioning of your more office accountable in nature. Then apart from that, in internal security, one topic which has been very important is cyber security. You will find that every year there is one question which has been asked related to cyber security. So they should know not just some aspects of basics of cyber security, but current relevant examples as well. Data Protection Act therefore becomes so important. They should know what are the kind of increase that we are witnessing in the cyber crimes today. What are the reasons why, because of which the increase in crimes is being witnessed today? Why are we finding it difficult to tackle these cyber crimes today? Another important topic is Naxalism. At least 5 questions have been asked in mains examination related to Naxalism. So they should know what are the recent trends that have been there in Naxalism. Insurgency in Northeast, I think, is a very important issue considering the situation in Manipur today. So they may ask question on that. Border management and its relationship with drug trafficking, its relationship with organized crime, insurgency, terrorism, again, is a very important topic.
You summed up in a very comprehensive way, sir. Thank you for that. Any last moment message for these 2.5 months specifically for our students?
So focus on answer writing. And initially when you will write answers, they will be of bad quality. You may not like them yourself, but you must remember that Rome was not built in a day. And it's only with practice that you can improve. I always quote this example of a study that was conducted in Florida University where the professor divided his students into 2 groups, where he told one group of the students that you click one picture in 1 month and give it to me, and try to use the best camera angles and try to use the best lighting and composition for that picture. And to the other group of students, he said that you click one picture every day and 30 pictures have to be clicked. So at the end of the month, when the 2 groups went to the teacher, all the 30 pictures, almost all the 30 pictures in the second group were much better than the one picture which had been clicked by the first group. The reason for that is because when they kept practicing the art of clicking pictures every day, they improved. They learned from their mistakes. Every failure is an opportunity to learn. So when they will write more tests, they will write more answers, they will get to learn more about their own expression skills and learn how to improve their answer writing. But if you are only thinking that The one answer that you will write will be the best and the perfect answer. After acquiring all the knowledge in the world, it will not happen. So don't focus on acquiring knowledge, focus on practicing as much as possible, focus on trying to improve your expression skills. And once you do that, even with limited amount of content, I have seen candidates do really well in the past. I'll just give one example. Almost 25 to 30% of the candidates, those who do well in the examination, are first timers. Why is it that they are doing better than the ones, those who have written this exam 5 or 4 times? It is because they know how to express themselves in those 3 hours. So content management is very important, and that is what we'll be also focusing on in this program.
Thank you, sir, for joining us today and guiding us very strategically and comprehensively.
Thank you so much, Paritosh.
Now, students, it's your chance to level up your mains examination preparation by joining this very targeted mains advanced course. Thank you and all the very best.